Leave no man behind. It's a motto of U.S. Armed Forces, and it's a sacred promise, as you know, but one that has been broken for the men who fought and died on Tarawa during World War II. Men like Howard Brisbane. He and hundreds of others were left behind by our government in mass graves in Tarawa. It's an island in the South Pacific, and we sent Mike Valerio there. And in a special assignment unit reports, 9/11, Mike reports time is of the essence to find our war heroes. He's got a preview.
They still there? We left these guys behind? The Marines? We left Marines behind? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. To see this?
We did not know. We did not know.
It's unbelievable.
This is Howard's oldest nephew, John, and we just told him, along with Howard's living relatives, that no one knew where the sailor's grave was for 70 years. No one could find it until now.
I was shocked that they really didn't know where he was all these years.
So why was Howard missing? You see, for generations, Howard's family thought he was buried here, a place on Tarawa with white crosses and white beaches, a paradise in the Pacific. But this is the reality. Pig pens and trash pits. Americans are buried in a trench just to the left, only a few feet away. Defense Department documents show that Americans were the ones who first cleared Howard's gravesite, all to expand an airbase. And only days after Howard died, his grave became a parking lot. The military never told his family. We did.
There was a memorial that's now gone, and the cemetery's gone. I mean, that part is just, that I found out all this today. And I'm just amazed that memorials are wiped off the face of the earth so they could build a parking lot.
Mike joins us now. This is amazing. The military intentionally had people believe that they were buried, or were they missing in action?
It's a complicated story. So we go to this island, Tarawa, in the Central Pacific Ocean, and we fought a bloody battle there in 1943. So as soon as we won, Bruce, our planes had to keep fighting the war. We had to keep prosecuting this war effort. So there was no time to fly the dead back to Arlington. We had to keep fighting this war. So what we did, we buried these men under the sand on this island, and the priority was to build this air base and not really keep track of the dead. So there weren't a whole lot of maps where all these people were buried, and they were simply lost, forgotten about. So we have families now who never knew that their uncles, grandparents are in unmarked graves. They thought, okay, he's buried on this island somewhere. It probably looks like Normandy.
You say lost and forgotten about, but surely somebody in the Defense Department knew what happened there. There are records somewhere.
There were records somewhere, but honestly, it was like nobody cared. Nobody cared. Americans went back to this island in 1946 to try to find everybody, and because the maps were so bad where these people were buried, they couldn't find half the people who were buried on this island. So today, there are still 452 U.S. service members buried on this island because they didn't care.
Do we know who they are? Do we have names? Do we have rank?
We do. We have a database on our website, WSA9.com, that shows who is still missing. But the thing is, you know, you could have family members who fought on this island and think they're buried under white crosses like in Normandy, but that is not the case. They're buried, like you saw in that video, near trash pits, septic tanks, shanty towns. It is unbelievable, and it's a disgrace. It's
and what's the Pentagon saying to your findings?
The Pentagon, so we come to the Pentagon with this family, and we said to a colonel who you'll see tonight on the news at 11, we asked this colonel, well, the family members never knew their uncle was buried in a mass grave. We told the family that he was buried under a parking lot. What say you? And they said, well, we don't really have an answer to that. Well, we don't really know why they weren't told. So bottom line, Bruce, we hope that with our investigation, the Defense Department not only brings everybody home from this island, but tells families how their loved ones were buried and under what conditions they were buried for 70 years.
They're owed that. They're entitled to that. And let's hope also that the legislators up on Capitol Hill watch this and insist that these things happen.
We have a senator who we're talking to who made a big scene about 5 years ago when there was a Defense Department review, and we're hoping that in the next couple weeks, she will come to the defense of these families, and we'll really make a difference here. We'll make a change.
You've got our attention.
Thanks.
Good work.
Means a lot.
We'll be watching tonight. Mike's full story of the fallen and forgotten from the Battle of Tarawa can be seen tonight right here, WUSA 9, 11 o'clock sharp. You want to watch that. If you go to our WUSA 9 website, right now we have a full list of the missing from that battle, plus extra interviews with the volunteers who are trying to find our missing war heroes and bring them home.